Now we've gone and done it. All right, let's make sure the audio levels are working just fine. We're gonna drop that down just a little bit there. Good morning, folks. How are you all doing this morning? Let's make sure we're streaming. Got an interesting day for day to play. Today is the third day of the week, the month. Everything coming in live. Good morning, everybody. How you doing today? It's Brody coming to you by the way of the stock desk in the morning show. Tune in, grab a paddle, and start to roll. Let's go. Let's hit it up. Good show today. Got a few AI generated magic cards to go over. We got some news articles, big things. Big things. Big things, big things. Very interesting day. Ooh, the price of Hasbro stock. Let's take a look here. Astrid Media, how you doing this morning? Nice to have you with us. We can start the show. It's the third day of the week, third day of the month. How are you doing? It's gonna be a good one. Morning. Gonna pour myself a coffee here. We're doing things just a little bit different here today. So make sure the chat's working. Let's get this going here. Shazam. There we go. I bought Hasbro before the spike. What's it at? Good morning, beautiful and amazing fans of Magic the Gathering. Friends who love the game as much as we do. Thanks for joining me here this morning on the Stock Desk. This is the Stock Desk, the best desk. Yes, you guessed it. Thanks for joining me here this morning on the show. It's Wednesday. It's May the 3rd. We're getting set for Star Wars Day. Have you bought your tickets for the new Guardians movie that's coming out on Friday? I know I have. Me and T. Freezy, we're going to go hit it up. We're going on a double date. Oh yeah, it should be a little bit fun. Going to go check out the new movie. I'm excited for the new Guardians to come out. Folks, do you like tracking the prices of Magic cards? Is there enough information out there? Or is there just too much information? Let me do it for you. I'm doing it each and every morning, Monday through Friday here on the show. It's interesting because in this day and age, you never can tell if there's going to be another leak, another spoiler, what's going to be happening. What's going to be happening down the chute. It's good that you tune in on the morning show here so that we can go over it with you. I got some interesting news articles here today. There's definitely some controversy over some new card mechanics that have been spoiled, so that ought to be interesting. I'm going to bring you that today. Quick reminders for you folks, we're going to be doing the movers and the shakers today. Today is Pauper. That's right, the Pauper list. We're going to be hitting that up this morning. But before we do that, let's just warm up and welcome everybody to the channel. New subscribers. We're over that 300 mark. Thank you all for joining the channel. Grab yourself a coffee. Wherever you are, wherever you've got Brody dragging around with you this morning, whether you got me from the bumper of the car, sitting on the dash, maybe next to the coffee pot, maybe in your front pocket, as you head on down the highway. Safe adventures. Thanks for bringing me with you wherever you got me. Thanks for dragging Brody along for the ride. I got a good show for you folks to do. Today, let's take a look at a couple of AI generated magic cards. We're gonna warm up here, and if you guys are new to the show, let me just go over the rules for you folks in a minute. If it's a playable card, we're gonna review some AI generated magic cards. If they are at all playable, even if it's a little bit overcosted, you're gonna hear this sound. And if it's a piece of junk, if it's got any gibberish on it whatsoever, if you can't stand it, if you don't want anything to do with it and you want to put some distance between you and that card, you'll hear this sound. All right. That's the sound of the buzzing, my cousin. Let's do it. Let's head on over to a Robo Rosewater and see what's cooking, what's shaking here on the channel this morning. Thanks for joining me, folks. Let's take a look at this card. All right, what do we got here? Togo Soldier. We could use some soldiers. How's the audio this morning? Lester, I found yesterday was a little bit choppy. Good morning, Broham. Bronet. Good morning, Broetnam. Thanks for joining me this morning. All you Brodigans hanging around here on the live stream this morning. We're taking a look at the Togo Soldier. This one is so... Can I get this one to go? You don't want to dine in and hit this card up. You want to take this one in a doggy bag. You want to take it to go. The to-go Soldier. This soldier doesn't stick around very long. He's on the go, on the move, on the mend. Gotta go, my friend. The to-go Soldier is a 2/3 Volver Dragon. OMG, this is getting it. I got my finger over the buzzer already. Dang it. All right, let's spill ourselves a coffee here. Let's look at this card. 2/3 for blue and 3. To go Soldier. Flying Death Touch at the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 2 life. When To Go Soldier dies, return to the battlefield under its owner's control. To Go Soldier can't block. I mean, so far so good. This is gonna get bad here at the end, maybe. If To Go Soldier was kicked, it enters the battlefield with 3+1/+1 counters on it and kicker 4. Holy! Let's give that a ding. This thing is immortal, right? If it dies, it just comes back, right? If you cast it with the kicker, you get 4. You get 3 counters on it. It can't block though. It's an attacker. This thing is to go. It reminds me of that show, The Goodfellas, right? When they go over and they whack the guy and he's like, "Come on, make that coffee to go," right? What are you doing? I'm making coffee to go. I don't want coffee. Let's. All right, this card here. Is it fair, unplayable? We gotta rate it. Fair, unplayable, word salad, or overpowered? Overpowered. Let's give it an overpowered. Ooh, some people say it's fair. Got a bit of mana cost on it. Ooh, look at the island. Lonely Island. For you folks at home. Anybody Saturday Night Live fans? Good morning, bro. It now. Richie Dubs in the house. Thanks, buddy. This is a beauty. We're gonna pass it. It's nothing that we can't handle. This is a beauty here. All right, let's hit it up. We got the basic island here this morning. Let's keep going. Bone. Ooh, check it out. I gotta have a little sip of coffee here. Join me on an adventure so we can talk about these magic cards here in the morning show. All good. All good for lands, that's it. Yeah, the lands are usually okay. Kind of hard to screw up a land. They got me once when they put a secondary land type on there. So you gotta watch out for that. This is Throne Bond Acrop. Throne Bond Acrop for 1 blue and 2. Target player's life total becomes tapped this way. Get out of here. You're not gonna fool me. How do you tap your life total? There's no way we're gonna let you tap the... In the Hive memory, that doesn't... What? The flavor text is even terrible. I ain't even gonna read it. Word salad. Let's give it a fair, unplayable word salad. Word salad. Yeah, it's quite the word salad. Okay, check this out. A big green one on 11-11. This one goes to 11, just like yesterday. We were talking about some Spinal Tap references. Fen Skygriff. Worm. Trample Haste. The Trampley Hasty Boy. When Fen Skygriff enters the battlefield, each opponent loses 3 life unless you choose any number of target creatures you control. As long as Fen Skygriff remains tapped, its controller mills that many cards inside. Word salad. Do better. This is terrible. OMG. Fair, unplayable, OP, word salad. Word salad. When it enters the battlefield, each opponent loses 3 life unless you choose any number of target creatures you control. Okay, and then what? Okay, so you choose creatures you control. As long as it remains tapped, its controller mills that many cards. Just a bunch of shenanigans. Bringing us back to the Circunwath. The Circunwath. This is sort of where we left off yesterday. Alright, sounds fine. Remand, shuffle, red, then shuffle. If you do, create 2 goblin tokens at 28-19. This is, I don't know what we gave it yesterday. A 28-19. Remand. Okay, we're not going to be rementing any which way. Screw it. Have you heard of this one, the cat oven deck? If you have you ever played the cat oven deck? Do you love it? Okay, let's put the poll up. We need to ask you folks, have you played against the have you played or played against the cat oven deck? No. You either love it or hate it. And what about this one? No, what's that? Have you ever played the cat oven deck? Well, it's about to make a big comeback. If you didn't know already, the friggin' cat witch's oven and the familiar deck, the deck that just takes up all and procs over and over again on arena. This sucker is just one of the most annoying decks you're ever gonna play. And guess what? Wizards is revisiting it. So let's talk about that here this morning. Maybe we should just do a little bit. Let's do one article and we'll get on to your movers and the shakers. The MTG Aftermath card that propels hated combo to new heights. So this cat oven deck, the deck that you hated, the familiar deck, the one that just procs over and over again with the witch's oven. Yeah, it's terrible. Even though the set is leaked before the spoiler season began, many Magic the Gathering players waited until official reveal before looking at MTG's first mini set and what it had to offer. There are a ton of incredibly exciting cards in March of the Machine Aftermath. One card has definitely stolen the spotlight for many players. The card threatens to revive a hated Magic combo and propel it to obscene heights. While Magic the Gathering Arena players have some disturbing flashbacks to the cat. It's like trauma, right? You're like, no, I hate that deck, right? The card threatens to revive a hated Magic the Gathering combo and propel it to obscene new heights, while the Magic Arena players may have some disturbing flashback to the cat oven combo deck that dominated the client. This change may ultimately be a good one for Magic's most competitive format. Let's take a look at Nixilis Captive King. The Kingpin. Let's put a pin in it. So this is the deal with Olaf Nixilis here. He procs, right? Whenever, let's check it out. Whenever an opponent loses, okay, he's a 4-3. He's a 4-3 body, decent PT, decent stats on the Obby, the Nixie, the Lissy. Obby, Nixie, Lissy. Not too bad as stats, but here's the problem. This is the keyword ability that he's got on him. Okay, so he's a Rakdos, so he's on the color. He's on the color for the Rakdos. 4-3. It's Flying Trample Demon. And whenever one or more opponents lose exactly 1 life, you put a 1/1 counter on Obs Nixilis, then you exile a top card of your library, and you get to play that card until your next end step. So you get a card off the top for the next end step. So yeah, so you can proc this on your opponent's turn, and then until the end of your next turn, you get to play it. So you can do it again on your turn. I know, right? Cat Oven and new Obnixilis, disgusting, right? So we got some more support. One thing Obnixilis has a lot of experience with is losing his spark. March of the Machine's Aftermath showcases 10 different characters that have lost their spark as a result of the events of the Phyrexian invasion. Obnixilis' card had the biggest first impression, while his position in the new Capenna is needed. Indeed, an event for to note for lore enthusiasts. Obnixilis is making waves because the card may be the card that a tier 2 Pioneer Archetype needed to propel it to the top list. Rakdos Sacrifice. So if you remember this wretched combo, that was the most annoying combo on the client of over at Arena. It's this card, the Cauldron Familiar. This is the 1/1 cat that when it enters the battlefield, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain a life. You can sacrifice a food to return it to the battlefield. So people are using the Witch's Oven to sacrifice the cat, then make a food, and then sack the food to bring the cat back and drain your opponent for 1. Multiple cats, multiple ovens, multiple foods. Just it's a bad time. It puts a lot of trips on the stack. It takes a long time to resolve, and it just didn't need any more cat oven support. Well, the cat's in the oven and the silver spoon. The little dog cried and the man on the moon. Tommy Siddons in the house on the morning show. This is the bro, my friend. We're gonna have a good time when... Alright, what do we got? Like many sacrifice-centered strategies since the release of Throne of Eldraine, this deck is focused around an incredibly famous synergy from the perspective of a Magic the Gathering Arena player. The Cat Oven Combo. This refers to the interaction between the Cauldron Familiar, the Witch's Oven, and basically the sacrifice engine that goes over again and again, making it obscenely strong against decks. Creature deck, since the cat can essentially block a free creature each combat. Both, oh yeah, I forgot. On top of that, the cat can block, and then you can sack it, and then you can proc it, and then you can get treasure or food, and do it over and over again. It's just terrible. It's disgusting. Benson says the Obnixilis, the multiversal troll in the lore. He broke the Hedron network in battle for Zendikar, woke up Kozilek, and then Planeswalker away after he got his spark back. Oh yeah, Obnixilis. Such a little bugger, right? Okay, so this card deck is getting a little more support. For Magic the Gathering Arena players, this combo was the bane of existence. Not only was the combo strong enough alongside enables like Trail of Crumbs and Mayhem Devil. Yeah, you see they throw the Mayhem Devil in there and frick, you got a good time, right? Fair magic, fun magic, yeah. It's like it just sets it to autopilot, right? Golgari Sacrifice dominated Historic and for a healthy period of time before the cat got a digital nerf and was incredible for this entire standard legal run. I remember it, and I specifically remember the cat oven combo because there was a few times where we decided just to delete Arena off the computer. That is how we deal with the cat oven combo. We just say, you know what, Arena? You've run your course. We've had enough. We're going to delete the Arena client right off the computer. You get so frustrated with how it works, right? I mean, nobody can build decks and then just have the shuffler be so bad. So it's fairly interesting here to see some news articles. In the world of finance, JC, check this out, because we've been talking about the world of finance for the last couple of days. We've been talking about how the banks just take all your money. They do, and why they call them brokers. If you're buying stocks, if you're buying them out of your website, from your bank, self-directed, you're buying them in a TFSA, however you're doing it, the reason they call you broker is because they make you broker. Banks in uncertainty this morning here once again. JP Morgan Chase is distressed. First Republic Bank in JP Morgan Chase to buy distressed First Republic Bank in deal brokered by U.S. regulator. So Some interesting news here, some more trauma in the world banking system, and to hear people over the weekend saying that the bank is the safest place to put your money. At this point, I think maybe just a peanut butter jar or digging a hole in the backyard is probably a better option for a lot of people, because the rate things are going, the debt ceiling level needs to be increased. Otherwise, the United States is not going to be able to borrow any more money. Regulators seized troubled First Republic Bank early Monday and sold all of its deposits and most of its assets to JP Morgan Chase Bank. So, in a bid to head off further banking turmoil in the U.S., San Francisco-based First Republic is the first mid-sized bank to fail in 2 months. So, if you were thinking that the bank is the safest place to keep all your money, and you thought, I think I'll buy some stocks from my bank, and they can hold on to them. When the ship flips upside down, I bet you all the people who had their money in this bank also thought the same thing, that they had their best interests in mind. But just like, we're starting to realize, if you still think at this point in the game that this is not a corporatocracy between banks, large corporations, and companies like Hasbro, to use the company as a giant vacuum cleaner to suck all your money and leave you with a bunch of inflation, underappreciated wages, and struggling to try and make sense of what happens as these the First Republic Bank struggled since the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank. Investors and depositors had grown increasingly worried it might not survive because of its high amount of uninsured deposits and exposure to low risk rate loans. See, and then I was talking on the weekend about insurance companies, and then the argument against, because I said, maybe you shouldn't put all your money in the bank because you're going to wake up one day and realize you just gave them all your money. Some folks would argue that some insurance companies, maybe life insurance is a better way to roll, and there's actually some folks that wrote a book about it. But the argument I heard back was that insurance companies can go broke, but the insurance companies are the ones who insure the banks. In Canada, we've got like some banking laws where the banks must be insured; they can't be uninsured. So that's an interesting fun fact if you want to look at it, this like regard for insurance policies. Regulators have been working through the weekend to find a way forward before the U.S. stock markets opened on Monday, and then markets in many parts of the world were closed for May 1st holidays. The two markets in Asia that opened were in Tokyo and Tokyo. My woman in Tokyo, she makes me feel... Yes. And then Hasbro, one more article here before we get onto your movers and the shakers here this morning. So you folks can, Hasbro has also paid them. So this is the way this works now. You can see that this is just the way it works. When press releases and public opinion is dwindling and getting low, you just buy yourself another award. So Hasbro has been named one of Ethisphere's 2023 most ethical companies for the 12th consecutive year in a row. And if you haven't heard what a corporatocracy is, it's just a big engine, like the cat oven. One of these companies is the cat, the bank is the oven, and the treasure token is the cards. They just go around and around in a circle, giving themselves awards, telling each other what a great job they've been doing. And we can see it here as Hasbro is named one of Ethisphere's 2023 most ethical companies for a 12th consecutive year. A global branded entertainment leader today was recognized by Ethisphere as a global leader in defining and advancing the standards of ethical business practices as one of the 2023's world's most ethical companies. Hasbro has been honored for the last 12 years and is one of only 5 honorees in the consumer products industry in 2023. If you thought they were a toy company and you thought that they were a game company, think again. They are a consumer product industry. 135 nominees were recognized, spanning 19 countries and 48 industries, as a company bringing play and joy to generations of fans around the world. We are committed to our operation and business responsibility and ethically, said Chris Cox, the Hasbro chief executive. We are honored to be named one of the world's most ethical companies 12 years in a row. Ethics matters, and organizations that continue to business and integrity commit through the robust programs and practices not only elevate standards and expectations for all, but all have better long-term performance, said Ethisphere Chief Executive Officer Erica Salmon-Byrne. We continue to be inspired by the world's most ethical companies, honoring their dedication to making a real impact for the stakeholders and displaying extremely exemplary values based on leadership. Congratulations to Hasbro for earning a place in the world's most ethical companies community. Look at this. To learn more, and we've been talking about ESG, to learn more about ESG at Hasbro, read Playing with Purpose ESG Report 2021-2022. So we were talking about that ESG report. Hooray. The ESG component. Isn't that the one that was the demise and the downfall of Silicon Valley Bank, right? Weren't they highly ESG motivated? If you didn't think so already, did you see how there's nothing wrong? It's just like the JD Power Award. It's fake, right? Watsy bought that ethics award. Yo, what's up, Brain? The Brain's in the house. The Gaming Bob's in the house. Tommy Siddons. Let's make a 2-mana combo with extreme redundancy. I like it. Well, Tommy Siddons, Gaming Bob, Benson, Astrid Media, folks and fans and amazing people who tune in each and every morning. These are your movers. These are your shakers. Make no mistake about it. We're going to run this list here today. It's, yeah, where's the money, Brody? Show me where's the money, Brody? It's down there. I think it's down there. Let me just take another look. Where's the money, Brody? I think it's down there. Let me take another look. All right, the dude abides. Let's do it. These are your movers and shakers. Thanks to you folks for joining us. It's May the 3rd. One more day until Star Wars Day. If you haven't seen it already, this is going to be the release of the Guardians movie on Friday. Excited. Got my tickets. It's going to be a good time. All right. Pioneer Popper. Oh, yes. The Popper. Ooh, some interesting tidbits on the movers and the shakers list here this morning. Let's grab ourselves a sip of coffee. Let's sit back, relax, and let Brody track the magic card prices. Is there enough information out there, or is this just too much information for you? Let me do it for you. I'm doing it each and every day, Monday through Friday, here on the Bro Show, looking at the major tournaments around the world. April 23rd in 2023, there was a Popper Circus in Italy. Some competitive play. Let's check the competitive play roster. 63 players. Blue-white familiars, mono-red Kodotha, mono slivers. Thank you. Altertron, Coggates, and blue, and this Walls combo. I think it's this Walls combo deck is the one that, yes, is drawing a little bit of attention here. These are your movers and the shakers here today. Okay, so we've got the Popper metagame up here this morning. Me and Gamey Bob are hanging out here. This is the Walls combo, blue-white familiar, Coggates, Altertron, Slivers, mono-red Kodotha, and the blue-white familiars taking first place in this 63-player Popper tournament. Okay, so the card on the movers and the shakers this week for Popper, let's see if the Shield Sphere is actually in there. It's a playable card. Is the Shield Sphere in here? Lands, creatures, Shield Wall Sentinel, Tuck. What's this Shield Wall Sentinel? I don't see the Shield Sphere on here. In the wall deck? The Popper wall deck? Alright, well this one is the Alliances one. Let's check it out. Is it reserved list? I think it may... No, it's not reserved list. But this is a card that was an interesting spike a couple of years back when we got the release of the spoiler on the notification that Arcades Sabbath, the strategist, was going to be making waves, coming back to make defenders a possible attacker. So let's check this out. The Shield Sphere. 0 mana, cost you nothing. Money for nothing. Shield Spheres for fun. This card costs you nothing. It's from the Alliances set. I remember when it was printed, it was like next to the Ornithopter, it was the next 0 mana creature. Counts as a wall. If it's assigned as a blocker, you got to put a 0/1 counter on it. -0/-1 counter on it. My soldiers know that they need never fear for their protection. King Darien of Keldor. I think the flavor on this is pretty great. The fact that it ropes Darien into it. Let's just take a look at that. Darien, King of Keldor. This guy from M25. Darien's the cold snap fella. Man. We're tying it all together here. The lore. So this is Darien, King of Keldor, the fella who's got the flavor text on the shield sphere. Whenever you're dealt damage, you may create that many 1/1 white soldier tokens. But the shield sphere is part of the walls deck. It's a common, uncommon. Why is this on the pauper list? Was it shifted? Oh, this is when did they do it dirty like that? Yes, they did. This is when they did the digital shift. This is another dirty move that you see. So Shield Sphere printed in common, but if you could see that online in a Masters edition, it was reprinted as a common online only. So if you've got the, if you got this, this is probably why this card is spiking, because it's pretty good for 0 mana. In a defender deck, in a wall deck, it's not too bad. Brody just wants to check out the chart here. Let's put some lines on charts here for you folks this morning. Let's see. Looks bullish. It looks bullish. It was coming along at just $2 or $3 around here. I gotta clear that off. Let me make my pencil just a little bit bigger. This card is bullish. Right around here is the printing of Arcades Sabbath. Right here. And then retraction in price. Excuse me. And then a little bit of a retrace and a leg up, and now it's sort of plateaued. I could see this card potentially going higher if it doesn't ever see a reprint, but I find it interesting that this can be done. A card with only one printing in paper. Does this not drive you insane? A card that's only got one printing in paper can be downshifted in rarity to make it a common online only. Some more shenanigans. Okay, Arcades the Strategist. Emery Lurker in the Lock. We want to look at the Walls deck. Walls combo. This is the deck we want to look at. Where did this one play? This one was Playtime Mirate. Was this one in Mirate? This is in yeah, this is Playtime Mirate. So this is the same tournament. 6th place. I don't see it listed here. 5 to 8. Maybe it was this one. Olmo Reale. Who's the pilot? Olmo Reale. Oh yeah, that's the deck we just looked at it, but I don't see it here. Where's the Shield Sphere? Where's the Shield Sphere on this list? Oh, Shield Wall. Yeah, I don't see it on this deck list, but somebody is also... See, this is why you got to do your research. So on the top 8, it's not showing the Shield Wall, but on this deck list, somebody has submitted on April 23rd saying this is part of the 6th place deck list. I don't know what to tell you. The Shield Sphere. Maybe the Shield Wall Sentinel has pushed it out for something better. It's not even in the sideboard, but this is part of the Walls deck. So we got Avacyn's Pilgrim, a Mana Dork. Either way, let's find the combo here, because I'm kind of interested to see how this thing works. So you got Avacyn's Pilgrim. This is just a Mana Dork. You got Yaspera Sentinel, a 1/2 that taps to tap an untapped creature you control and add a mana of any color. So another Dorks. Oroka, what is this? Orochi? Orochi Leaf Faller, add a mana, another mana Dork. Quirion Ranger, another Dork. Saruli Caretaker, tap an untapped creature you control that. More Dorks, and more Dorks. I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't put Sylvan Caryatid. It's got hexproof in it, but maybe... Oh, it's Pauper, so it's got to be all commons. Okay, venture into the dungeon, activate as a sorcery. What about this? Overgrown Battlement. Tap to add a green... for each creature with Defender you control. Here's the card, Overgrown Battlement. This one looks like it's uncommon, but it's probably been shifted again. Wall of Roots. This is actually a really good card. Put a -0, -1 counter on Wall of Roots. Add green. Still looking for the combo. Axebane Guardian. Add X mana in any combination of colors to your mana pool, where X is the number of creatures with Defender you control. Okay, so the Axebane is more Dork Ramp. Transmute. Tuk-Tuk. Tuk-Tuk Revelfor. Creatures control have haste. Vivian's the Grizzly. Vivian's Bear Spirit. Look at the top card of your library. If it's a creature card or planeswalker card, you may reveal it, put it into your hand. If you do, put that card into your hand. If you don't, put it on the bottom in any order. Shield Wall Sentinel. When it enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a creature card with Defender and reveal it, put it into your hand. So what are we getting? Winding Sway. Choose creature or land, reveal the top 4 cards of your library, put all cards of the chosen type into your hand. The rest in the graveyard. Lead the Stampede. Look at the top 5 of your library. You may reveal a number of creature cards from among them. Put the reveal card in your hand. So another Commune card, another card that lets you commune. Pulse of Marasa. I used to play this card, it's really good. Return target creature or land card from your graveyard to owner's hand. You gain 6 life. Reaping the Graves. Maybe this is it. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Then Storm. You get to bring all this stuff. Feed from the Real. Tap, untap. Where's the win condition? Does anybody see it? Scattershot deals 1 damage to each creature with flying. Crimson Acolyte. Are we just attacking with little mana dorks? I don't. It's called Walls Combo. Where's the combo? Can anybody help me out? I can't find the combo in Walls. Can I get a combo number Wall, please? Anger Collections, how you doing? ESG, DVI, and SVB spent a bunch of money on group women's ski outings. Oh, meanwhile, the books were trash on fire. Right? So, like, if you think the banks are a great place to invest, when you, like, look what they're doing with your money. If you think, like, if you think that's a safe place to put your bucks, I think you're mistaken. They just take it. Watsy bought this ethics board. Where's the combo here? Robert O'Brien, how you doing, buddy? Alan the Kraken. The win condition is the friends we make along the way. All right, Alan the Kraken. I gotta talk to Alan here. New viewer, Alan the Kraken. Thanks for joining. Good morning, Alan. I want to speak to Alan just for a quick second here and wish you well today. Oh, what the hey. Alan, that's the best comment I've ever read in my entire life. The win condition is the friends that we make along the way. Can you say it with me, folks? Give this man a round of applause. I'm seriously. Somebody throw some emojis in the chat there. Alan, you hit the nail on the head. In fact, I'm gonna put a link to the Discord here in the chat. Alan, hit me up on the Discord. There you can join the conversation. I appreciate you for something like that. That's really awesome. Everybody give Alan the Kraken, and look out, the Kraken, Sleep from the Ice, mobbing on the stream here this morning. Thanks for joining in on the conversation. Alan, have a great day today. I appreciate you for tuning in on the show. What an awesome combo, right? What an awesome comment. The win condition is the friends we make along the way. Here's to you, my friend. cup of coffee in the cup this morning. We're checking out, these are your movers and their shakers here. I'm having a tough time with this wall deck, this wall combo deck, because I can't seem to find the win conditions. So to me, it looks like a bunch of mana dorks. But thanks for helping me out. It wasn't that apparent. I was looking in all the wrong spots, Alan. Yes. This is the show where I get to talk Magic cards each and every morning. I get to talk the world of finance, see what's going on, try and get the fun into your collection. I get to chat with you, share my opinions, and you folks can too. So thanks for joining in on the conversation. It's going to be another amazing day here. The sun is shining, and may the sun be on your face and the wind at your back. Watch out for the Kraken. Brody's packing a list here this morning. Let's do it. Thanks, Alan. That's a good comment. Back, Robert O'Brien's back from Victoria. Super. Went on a little road trip, eh? Good. Hope you enjoyed. I hope you had fun. Hope it was worthwhile. Hope you made some friends along the way. All right, let's check it out. Definitely. Okay, well, I can't seem to find it here, but it's the shield wall. It just looks like a bunch of mana dorks. Instants and sorceries, maybe lead the Stampede. Look at the top 5, reveal, pulse, reaping the graves. Yeah. Secret door. Huh? Maybe the secret door. Nope. Well, we're holding out for something better. This is another deck. Vivian's Grizzly. Yeah, maybe it's just overrun your opponent with mana dorks. You just keep getting dorks off of the, you just keep getting little weenies off the deck, and then just like, it's like a just go wide strategy. Maybe I don't see any anthems in there, but hey, Shield Sphere, why not? It says it's in that deck. It's part of the Walls deck. Who am I to say no? Let's let it be. Let's check it out. Next, number 2 on the list here this morning. All right, Rhystic Study. Ooh, do you guys want to pay the 1? Are you willing to pay the 1 for this card? Rhystic Study moving up $42. A card from Prophecy. Now, a while ago, I was really trying to get my hands into some box breaks, and I was sick of buying new cards from Wizards of the Coast, so I signed up over at the Dual Brain channel because he was doing some box breaks, and I was lucky enough to get involved in a Prophecy box break, and I know he's got a couple other box breaks going on at the moment. I never had a copy of Rhystic Study, but I happened to get one from the Dual Brain channel in one of those Prophecy box breaks. It was a card that I never bought because I could never sort of bring myself to terms to walk into a store or go online and say, I want to buy the most annoying card in Magic. I couldn't bring myself to do it, but I got it in a box break, so that seems fair to me. I can claim neutrality. It's like, I just got it in a box break, you know, so why play it? I didn't seek it out, but this is arguably one of the most incredibly powerful, yet annoying, but functionally valuable cards in the game of Magic the Gathering. This enchantment card for a blue and 2 says, and you folks, you know it. It says, whenever an opponent casts a spell, you may draw a card unless that player pays 1. And this is the one where you get to say, do you want to play the 1? Do you want to pay the tax, right? And unlike Mystic Remora, this thing just sits there. And let's take a look at the chart on it. This chart this is the list copy. So what's the list version worth? The list version is worth $42. from the mystery booster. The Prophecy is the cheapest one. Prophecy also has a foil version for $333. I want to look at that one. Here's the money. Let's check it out. Where's the money, Brody? I think it's in that Ristic study. Let me go down and check. It's been as high as no, it can't have been as high as $1,000. Can we say it's been as high as $1,000 in Strixhaven? And then it's sort of tipped down in its price and is sitting at around 300 now for the foil version. Seems insane. Seems like a large amount of money to spend for a Ristic to make your opponents pay the one. But decks using it, let's check it out. All the commander decks. Any commander deck that's blue. How about that? That's why this card sees a lot of play. Robert O'Brien, glad to have you back. I didn't know. Hope you had a good one. Oh, link goes straight to Discord. Let me fix that. Should be an invite. Let me get the server here. Invite. Copy. Try this one. Server invite link. Try that one. My bad. Brody's making mistakes already, but that's okay. Do you know how you get good at something? You gotta make a few mistakes. Try that one. It should be better. Tons of friends and tons of fun. Lots of fun over at the on your trip there, Robert. Cool. I see Mike got you to change your Mike yelled at me a bit. I thought it was funny. He mentioned it. I figured why not give it a try. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? It's still Brody Alphonso. Alphonso, and it's at AlphonsoInvestments. So the handle is now Brody Alphonso at AlphonsoInvestments. Yeah, let's see how it works out. What a good guy, though. I mean, he's like a cat. You know, you pet him one way, he's smooth, but you pet him the other way, he's rough. He's like a cat that way. I think it's quite cute. But yeah, I did switch it up. We're now running under the moniker Brody Alphonso. So thanks to Mike for the encouragement over there. And it means a lot because you don't always get a lot of encouragement, and you know, it's good. I appreciate it. I do. Let's check this out. Ristic study. Okay, let's not. Let's move on. There's the number 3 card on the list. We've got a couple other more articles I think I want to get to here today. Harvey McGinnis article, a really good one. Feed from the real. Okay, so let's get through your movers and the shakers here this morning. We got to keep on powering through. Freed from the real. I think this was actually in the enchanted creature, tap enchanted creature, or untap enchanted creature. I think this was this in the Walls deck? Yes, it's in the Walls deck combo deck. So I guess with this one, tap enchanted creature, untap enchanted creature. I think with this one in the Walls combo deck, we're going to be using it to like perhaps get double procs on one of our tapping dudes. Let's check it out. What are we untapping? The Battlement, the Mana Dork. I don't know if that's like how good that is. What are we untapping with this? What are we targeting? I just don't see it. Tap and untap creature control, add 1 mana. Avacyn's Pilgrim. Oh, probably one of the dorks that taps for the number. That's what you're doing. You're putting that on the Overgrown Battlement. Tap and add a green for each creature with Defender you control. And then we put the Freed from the Real on that guy, and then you get to go large with your mana. Large and in charge with your mana, my friend. You get that big mana, that great big green mana, the large one. I see. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes good advice is hard to hear, right? Like, it could. We'll see. I mean, the guy was quite kind to me, so I gotta give it a shot, right? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Swing for the fences. You know, I do appreciate that. I see the freed from the real. So this is going on top of your mana dork that taps for a lot of green stuff. What's it called again? The battlement? The battlement. Overgrown battlement. So freed from the real goes on your overgrown battlement to make lots of green mana. Let's check it out. Survivors of Kamigawa. It's another block that like I would go back. Let's see what the foil version is worth. Foil is $12. So a 300% multiplier for these foils. If you guys want to know where there's some money at, I'll tell you. Go back and look at some of these old Kamigawa foils. Also go back and look at some of the Lorwyn foils, Shadowmoor foils, and Morningtide foils. Like the Kinsbell Cavalier is now like the most expensive card in the Morningtide set in foil. It's a card that Benson was talking about here when they spoiled the Herald of Hoofbeats. But if you can go back to some of these older sets when foils were actually hard to get, even in the Mercadian Mask block, there's a few, like they're really good quality foils. So if you have a chance, maybe go look through the, I would just do this. I mean, filter, cards, prices, saviors. Saviors of Kamigawa. Then switch to foil prices. Main set foils. Make sure you turn it on paper. And then you can look for your main set foils. Now, Sakashima the Imposter. That's going to be one of the more expensive ones, $323. Oboro Palace in the Clouds. Wow, Oboro, the original Oboro is $323. Sakashima the Imposter, Kataki's War Wage, $100. Pithy Needle and the Footsteps of Goryo. So flip this around. Let's go the opposite way and like go back and revisit some of these older sets and then like search by rarity, find the rares, flip it upside down so you can get some foils here and revisit some of these cards. This is all the foil rares from Saviors of Kamigawa block. Scroll of Origins, draw a card if you have 7 or more cards in your hand. Like this seems like a fine card. And look for stuff that hasn't been reprinted in a while. You can pick up some of these foils for just $1 or $2. Akuta Born of Ash. Funny about this card, I actually bought this card, a bunch of it, and in foil because I thought it was going to be good. Because it's a haste that you don't have to pay mana for at the beginning of your upkeep. If you have more cards in hand than each opponent, you may sacrifice a swamp. If you do, return it from your graveyard to play. 3/2 haster. So you can use these sort and filter toggles on some of these websites to sort of track down and find some deals. But this feed from the real, it's got a 300% foil multiplier. It's $12 in foil. It's from Saviors of Kamigawa. It's used in the plant deck. It's a common. It makes lots of mana. Why not? I don't have a copy. Findhorn Elves. Are you serious? The Ice Age Mana Dork? Okay, so this was like, this card, I remember cracking it because this was the second Llanowar Elves that we ever got. We got Llanowar Elves, and then we got Ice Age, and we got this one. This was the second Mana Dork in the game. Pretty cool card. A common, that's $2.10 for the Findhorn Elves, and it was as high as $3. Can you believe it? An Ice Age common? No way. I can hardly believe this. Look at this. Look at this stock pattern, okay? We've got like, I gotta go back to doing this. Like, let's look at what a cup and handle pattern is here. Give me a second. What is a cup and handle pattern, right? All right, here's your cup and handle pattern. This is what we're looking for. It's a cup, and what are you is it like this? Yeah, it almost looks like this, right? So when you're looking at stock charts, and I don't care if it's the price of Hasbro stock, like we can look at the chart on Hasbro stock. Let's look at the chart on this sucker. We're trying to find, like, I want you guys to get a little bit like familiar with these, because if like some people, I look at these charts every day and I look for patterns and I look for recurring events and things that like make sense and try and do some predictability, but it doesn't always work out. But the more you look at these charts, like, you're no different than anybody sitting behind a stock desk. And like, previous performance does not indicate future gains. So you can look at like some of these definitions, like what is a cup and handle pattern? It's like a bullish pattern, right? So how to trade this Findhorn Elves, like, to me this looks like a classic cup and handle pattern. Do you see it? Do you see the cup and the handle? I'll show you. It's right here. There's the cup. And I'm not talking, you guys are gonna get disgusting on me here. We're not talking about 2 cups or anything like that. Here's the cup, right? Here's the cup. And like, we're waiting for the handle right here. So cup and handle is several ways to approach it. And there's the most basic way is to look for an entering and a long position. So depending on your like financial goals, like if you're like a millennial or maybe you're a Gen Xer, maybe you're like a little older, and depending on your risk aversion, like everybody's got different levels of risk. So you're all going to trade this, these stock patterns differently, right? If you're in it for the long haul, you're like, I'm going to be, I'm going to hold on to this stock for 40 years. You know, you're long. If it's something you want to sell in like 2 years or 3 to 5, you're mid to short term. And then 5 to 10 years, maybe that's like medium term. So the most basic look for an entering, the cup and handle strategy is basically, we're looking for a long position. This image is going to depict a cup and handle formation. Place a stop buy order slightly above the upper trend line of the handle. Order execution will only take place. What does that all mean? So what it means is when you're looking at a cup and handle pattern, it's a bullish. First thing you want to know, it's a bullish indicator. It means like going to the upside. Here's the cup. You want to be looking for an entry position. It could be like right here at the bottom of the handle. So like a card like this Findhorn Elves, this is not going to be spiking. This is not a short-term gain. This is not like something you're going to like pick up and then be like, oh yeah, it's going to go up in a week. This thing is going to take a long time to move. If you're a young person, somebody who, like, you know, maybe you're in your 20s, you know, you're going to sit on your copies of Findhorn Elves for another 10 or 12 years, then this is probably, you know, a decent entry point. Here's your cup and handle. This is on the movers and the shakers here, and it's kind of funny. I want to see why. Deck's using it. Lathril. The Elves deck. The Elves deck is always using Elves. So the better support that Elves get, the more people are going to want this card, just because it's just another mana dork. Oh, we got some more comments here. Awesome to see you applying chart signals. It's an unbiased tactic. Yeah, like this is the show. Like this is the thing. Like you get all these grown-ups in the world. They go out there and they're like, this stock and JP Morgan and Sachs and this one's a buy and this one's a sell, and you just listen to the blathering. You know, let's put it in terms that like make sense and mean something to you. If you like tracking the prices of Magic cards, maybe there's too much information. Let's look at it. Try and like connect the dots, right? Because you can do that too. And sometimes people are like, hey Brody, take a look at this chart, what do you think? And like, you know, I'll have a look at it. But this card, like this Findhorn Elves, the second elf mana dork in the game, it's a common, it's from Ice Age, so it's old. This card is like, what are we, 1994, 95? So we're like 2005. This card's like 28 years old. It's an old card for no other reason than the fact that it's old, and then the circulation and like the good condition copies are probably just getting beat up and hard to find. Yeah, they're sold out in the stores. The more L's get support, the more this card's going to want to see some definite price action. Mystic Sanctuary. Here's a card that I just like. I was so excited about this card. This card goes infinite with Cryptic Command. Yeah, okay, it's busted. It's too powerful, right? But like the fact that this was printed in a common slot is absolutely bonkers to me. It's banned in Modern. They had to get rid of it because of Time Warp and cards like Nexus of Fate, and including Cryptic Command. You can just loop this card over and over again. You can loop those cards over and over again, take infinite turns. So it's just like a game-winning land in the common slot. It's a good card. Let's take a look here. Let's pull back the chart on it. Where is it legal? Legal in Pioneer? Yes. Legal in Pauper? It's banned in Pauper. No, not allowed. Banned. So why is it even on the movers and the shakers list? I don't know. Let's have a look here. It's seeing some support though. Like where are we playing this? Deck's playing it. Look at this. It took a tick up. About Zendikar, it's gone east to west. It's about the $1.50 mark. I played this card. I played a playset of it, and the check lands that like these were a really good land cycle from Throne of Eldraine. Like they had the Dwarven Mine, the one that it enters the battlefield. So let's read it. This is why it's so good. Mystic Sanctuary, it counts as an island, so you can fetch it. You can use a fetch land and go and find it. Okay, that's part of the reason it's banned in Modern. It's common, so it's very available. It's easy to get. It taps for a blue. Okay, why wouldn't an island tap for a blue? And then it's got this. Well, Mystic Sanctuary enters the battlefield tapped unless you control 3 or more other islands. So it comes into battlefield tapped if you play it on turn 1, 2, or 3 without no lands behind it to support it. But if you've got 3 other islands in play, and it itself counts as an island, so you can have multiple copies of it, and it will see itself. When Mystic Sanctuary enters the battlefield untapped, you may put target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard on top of your library. So it's worth noting that this one and the Dwarven Mine, these are like the Dwarven Mine, I think it's called. Dwarven Mine. This is the other one from from Throne of Eldraine. This is the same type of a thing. It's a mountain. It enters tapped unless you control 3 or other mountains, and then it checks itself and it gives you the 1/1 creature. This one's so good because with Indomitable Creativity, it allows you to have a creature to sacrifice without adding any more cardboard into your deck. The company that owns Pinkerton's security as AB stock has gone up ever since the debacle. The takeaway is the service accomplished its mission of recovery. Which part? Honestly, index funds like FDISs are the way to go, in my opinion. I love hearing the comments. Pinkerton crap didn't hurt the stock much. No. Vegas versus Oilers. Did the Discord channel work for you? Okay, Rudy's best information is the stuff he mutters under his breath. The good comment here. Rudy's best information is the stuff he mutters under his breath in his videos. He would be terrible at poker and easy to read. I quit watching Rudy as I Know Timmy. I Freed from the Real is stupid fun. Who we got here? Dr. Timmy's Emporium. Was investments a nod to Rudy? My channel name certainly is a nod. I still like watching Rudy, but he brags too much. Yeah, it's totally a nod to Rudy. Yeah, it was. It's a spoof channel. So I plan on making more Magic comedy videos. I like making the comedy show videos. They make me laugh. They make people laugh. It adds a little fun and brightness to the day. I miss the days when he was funny. Now things are just more serious, and I miss the cardboard. I miss the credit card ties, the tinfoil hats, the Rudy Fina Fina, and all the hilarity and the slapstickery. It's just like it seems like there's something going on there where like it's all too why so serious, right? So this Mystic Sanctuary, really good card, decent. Just look at the art on this one. It looks like we've got some sprites. Either that or some watermarks or some bad scanning going on. Funny. Is it Delver's playing it? Niv Mizzet's playing it. All these decks are playing it. Legacy and Commander decks. Of course the Commander decks are going to want to play it because you can like loop the Cryptic Command. The Cryptic Command loop is like so friggin' good. I do. There's a lot of it. Yes, the AlphonsoInvestments moniker is like a spoof on Rudy. It is. It is a nod. Searcher Priest. Another card from Phyrexia? New. Phyrexia new. Let's check out this common card. A white and 1. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may gain 1 life. So it's like Soul Warden. Whenever a creature enters, you may gain a life. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under opponent's control, you may have that player lose 1 life. This is so much better than Soul Warden, isn't it? Soul Warden. I mean, let's see here. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield, you gain 1 life. I guess Soul Warden's 1 mana, but why wouldn't you play the Suture Priest? Because whenever a creature enters an opponent's control, you may have that player lose 1 life. It does the drainage. This is the drainage card. It's super much better. Mucho más better. All right, let's check out the chart on this sucker. I want to look at it. Okay, we got a little bit of a bullish chart here. A little up pattern, a little swing to the upside. Swing to the upside here, folks. Honestly, I kind of like the thing with the Rudy channel is like there used to be some advice and there were some good takes there, but more and more I realized that, like, well, for one, the straight up lying kind of bugs me, because you're like, you get to a point where you watch somebody and you follow them online and you're like, oh yeah, this guy's gonna give me like honest advice, and then literally does the exact opposite of what the guy claims he was gonna do. And you're like, oh, okay, well, if you're gonna lie and, like, you know, use your YouTube channel to influence people and then like rug pull them, I got a new level of respect for you. And it's small. So at that point you're like, okay, it's everything's on the table. Like, you gotta, I guess it's like your it could be your own fault for like believing anything the person says, but you know, I guess that's the way it goes, you know. Do your own research, right? Let's check this out. I like it. Let's draw some lines on chart. This card is bullish. Let me see the foil multiplier is on this. This thing, I don't know what to call this. This looks like a flag. I'll say there's probably like we're under our second flag. So the flag happens like around here, you know, and then there's another one sort of, we're under a second leg up. There's probably going to be a third leg up with this card in the not so distant future. I would say it's going to probably happen in between January and another couple of months. This card might, let's see what the foil multiplier is on this one. $90. Holy moly. Talk about foil multiplier. This thing's $90. It's a common. Suture Priest in foil? Like, look out. Okay, it's been as high as 200. This is insanity sauce. Look at this chart, folks. Holy moly. This is a common. There's gold in the, like, this is the thing. Like, there was a while I'm like, oh, Pauper, it's a format for peasants. People who can't afford magic cards. But really, like, look into it. Look at this chart. Boom. $300. Suture Priest. This thing is, like, insane. You know, this is the other thing. Like, talking to Cosmic Seeds and a few folks that actually collect foils, because I'm not a foil connoisseur. I'll be the first to tell you. I'm not the king of foils. I mean, I don't know hardly too much about foils, other than they're shiny. I don't know which ones are good and which ones are bad, but what I can tell you is, from what I've seen, is the early ones, the early first edition foils, like Cold Snap foils, these Phyrexia foils, the first edition ones seem really good. Suture Priest in foil, $22. You can get it from the vendors. Yeah, okay. You can get it for all the way from $50 on eBay. There's a couple of printings in the non-foil version over on TCG Player. An insane card. Like if you pulled that sucker in a pack, nice minty fresh one. That is a heck of a card. See, it's unassuming. When you look at this, you're like, look at the pauper list. Check out the pauper list. Pauper's cheap is a format that's cheap. And you look at your movers and the shakers, and you're like, okay, there's a $2 card. Oh, a Ristic Study, the $40. You know, the money is on this list. The money is not in the Ristic Study. It's in the foil Ristic Study. It's also in the foil future site. So some of these foil commons, right? Snow-covered forest. The Snowlands from Modern Horizons 2 taking a bit of a tick up in price. Tangle. Let's check out Tangle. Is this Nemesis? I think it is. Invasion. I always get those two mixed up. The set symbol bugs me. All right, let's take a look at Tangle. Tangle. Let's get ready to tangle. Prevent all damage that would be dealt this turn. Each attacking creature doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. Pretty cool card. Because the fog effect combined with the untap effect. It's hilarious because when Pauper gets popular, it's no longer cheap. Right? Oh my god. Yes, players have been trying to run away from cards having value forever. Yeah, I see that. I only really collect Urza's Legacy foils. Brody itself is a play on Brother of Rudy. Yes, it is. That's funny. Yes, Brody is Rudy's older. I am Rudy's. Yes, Rudy's older brother, right? I have referred to him as my little brother a lot. I have referred to him as my little brother plenty of times. Yes, my little brother, little Rudy Patootie, right? Good morning. Sunshine and happy days to you. Nice to see you. Great comments this morning. Alan the Kraken is here. Mrs. Thomas, nice looking shirt you got there. Mrs. Thomas, good morning. How are you doing? Nice to see you. I didn't look at that part. Yes. All right. Look, I like this Tangle card. Like for a guy who's a turns player, and I played Turbo Fog. If you wanted to, good morning. Nice to see you. Mrs. Thomas, happy to have you here. Thanks for joining the conversation. It's a beautiful day. It's sunny. We'll have the comment of the. I think this is the best comment that I've ever received. I gotta say, it's pretty darn good. The win condition is the friends that we make along the way. That's the win condition. This is the favorite comment. So good. But as a I'm not really a Bant player, but I am like a turns player. I like the Fog deck. I like the Turbo deck, and like Bant turns. When like let's look at a card here. Okay, so you want to see how I would play the Tangle? I know I'm not I mean Pauper. Get it in your head. The deck's using it. Get it in your head. Turbo Fog. Yeah, there we go. Turbo Fog. Right? It's a deck. All right, we got Dispel. We got Preordain. Stream of Thought, Arcane Denial, Growth Spiral. Such a good card, this Growth Spiral. Like for a common, I mean, we got this, and it's like basically Uro has Growth Spiral on him, right? And for one more mana, you get a 6/6. But Moments of Peace, prevent all combat damage to be dealt this turn. Tangle, this one is so good because it leaves your opponents tapped down for the swing back. It actually allows you to hit the crack back. It's good. Weather the Storm, Words of Wisdom, Pieces of the Puzzle, Behold the Multiverse, Quandrix Campus, and like the Wayward Swordtooth. Like, here's a card from Ixalan. Here's a dinosaur that I thought was like, this card is another dinosaur, like underappreciated card from Ixalan. I thought this card, like in a Bant Turbo turns deck or a Bant Fog deck, I would say you got to have this guy in here because it's a 5/5 for 3 mana that ascends and says you can play an additional land during each of your turns. So this will ramp you. right? This will ramp you on, so you could play the Sword Tooth on turn 3, maybe turn 2 with a Dork, and then like turn 3 you're gonna be hitting your 5-drop, and that puts you in Time Warp range, right? So if you can ramp out the Sword Tooth, then the next well, then what's the other one? Growing Rights of Iklamok. Growing. Is it this one? Not the Growing Rights of Ix. There's an enchantment card that lets each player play an additional land. But I think the Sword Tooth, you know, I mean, it's not Pauper, but if I was to do it and play it in Modern or something a little bit more, you know, more avant-garde, I would throw the Sword Tooth in there because that's just how I play. And I like some fun stuff. I like dinosaurs. I was really excited about the Sword Tooth. I thought it was a good card. But nevertheless, the Tangle card, I don't have any copies. Is there a foil version of this? Invasion foil, $24. I can see what you're saying though, Kraken. Like, people are totally like been trying to run away from expensive cards. Hence the Pauper format. They're like, screw it. We're gonna make a format with all commons, right? Isn't Azusa better than the Sword Tooth? I think so. But you don't get the 5/5. I mean, there's nothing like eating somebody with a 5/5 dinosaur. It could be. Azusa lets you play 2 lands for the same amount of cost. Yeah, I guess. She is, but, you know, I'm a little bit of a Timmy at times. It doesn't have a dinosaur on it. Plus Azusa. How much is Azusa? Azusa. She's lost with Seeking. I think she's expensive. So Tangle, that's definitely played in the ban. Needle Drop. Check this out. First it was Plovers and Mole Drifters. Now it's a Knitting Needles the size of javelins. Needle Drop does 1 damage to target creature or player that was dealt damage this turn. Draw a card. Wow. Okay, so it's like a gut shot. It's like Spike. It's like one of those cards that just deals 1, except it replaces itself and draws a card. It's from Lorwyn. Is there a foil version? $10 for this Lorwyn foil. How many printings of this? I think there's only 1 printing of this card. There's only 1 printing of this card. It's only ever been printed in Lorwyn. The foil version is $9.80 and 68 cents. Let's look at the chart here. Ooh, check it out. We got a little bit of a retrace here. Oh no, that's no good. Brody's got to get a smaller pencil. So this guy goes right around January 2018, took a spike up to $30 for the needle drop. Then the needle dropped, and it settled down at around the all-time low, $8 or $9 around New Capenna. It took a poke up in price around the Brothers War, and now it's sitting at around the $9. Who's playing it? Burn. Burn's playing it. Pauper, Burn. Burn and Pauper, Swift Spear. Right. Kessick Flame Breather. Of course. Whenever you cast a non-trigger spell, Kessick Flame Breather does 1 damage to each opponent. Thermal Alchemist, Chain Lightning, and the Festivities, Lava Dart. That's what it is like. It's like Lava Dart. But it draws a card, so that's pretty cool. Why aren't more people playing this? Experimental Synthesizer. When it enters the battlefield, exile the top card of your library until end of turn, you may play that card. Interesting. The Needle Drop. And 1 more card on the movers and the shakers, then I'm going to get to the big things with Harvey McGinnis. Ancestral Mask. This is a card that just goes in the disgusting Boggles deck, right? What are the decks using it? Boggles deck. Yes, the disgusting Boggles deck. Because you put the mask on it, then the Boggle gets bigger. Glade Cover Scout, Hexproof. No one cares about Ancestral Mask because we all hate Boggles. No, are there any Boggles players in the house? This is a pretty good card. Gets +2/+2 for each other enchantment on the battlefield. It counts your opponents and anything in the anthems on your side. All right. I want to check out this article with Harvey McGinnis. It's a good one. It's going to be good because I shouted to Harvey McGinnis. I already hit him up on the Twitter this morning. We're going to leave you with this here this morning here. Gonna be good. Big things. Foil etched divisions. Let's check it out. Another article from the stock desk from Harvey McGinnis, and this will be the last one of the day before I leave you folks to go on your way and spread peace, love, and happiness into the Magic the Gathering community, and be careful out there. A few months ago, Harvey was writing about how the price multipliers for foil cards have shifted with time. From their debut in Urza's Legacy, this is an article for you, Bob, because you did say that the only foils that you collect are the ones from Urza's Legacy. So from foils making their debut in Urza's Legacy all the way up to the specialty iterations of collector products, foils have cemented themselves as a premier specialty allure for collectors and players alike, and to hunt down whenever the new sets release. However, in an era with multiple different types of foils abounding with each new release, it's important to pay attention to the developing trends whenever they arise and enter the foiled etch treatments. All right. Shout out to Harvey McGinnis, the man with the plan, working on his PhD. Yeah, he just finished his master's degree. So, I mean, I got to give it to the guy for working hard. Here's a guy who gets it. Right, so there's some folks that are out there that like hang around the internet and are trying to like bum money to get themselves to Magic events because they think people should be crowdfunding them to go play a hobby. Like Harvey's a working man, like he's working hard to bring some awesome articles. He's a smarty. He's going to school. He's got the PhD on the go, and he's busting his butt to bring us some apply himself and bring us some amazing and Magic the Gathering articles. So I want to make it sure you folks give a special shout out to Harvey McGinnis, who's working hard, just as hard as he can, to bring some Magic the Gathering articles to the stock desk for you folks to enjoy. So let's see what he has to say. Foil etch origins. And so talking about the advent of foil etch cards and where they began. Initially appearing as a specialty version of several key insert cards within the Commander Legends release, the foil etch cards were a smash hit with players and collectors alike. The smash. Shout out to Smash Jackson. Let's make this a little bigger. All right, so by this point, foil etch cards have occupied a role similar to that of Masterpiece series, albeit significantly more common. As such, the pricing of foil etch cards remains relatively low by comparison to other premium card printings, but nonetheless higher than that of traditional foils. Sakashima of the Thousand Faces. So let's see here. This card's about $40. Sakashima of the Thousand Faces. When comparing foil etch cards to other premium printings, it's important to understand that the specialty printings as distributed by booster products like Commander Collector Boosters and Booster Fun projects were still largely in their infancy, as exemplified by the short printing of Commander Legends Collector Boosters and the non-existence of Commander Legends set boosters. When viewed in the context of the broader market as it existed at release, foil etch cards had little comparison more collectible than traditional foils, less than Masterpiece series cards. Outside of the scarcity of foil etch cards, another key factor added significantly to their appeal and playability, unlike modern era traditional foils, which have been notorious in recent years due to the issue of warping and cardstock. Most iterations of foil etch cards have been able to avoid this problem due to the difference in manufacturing. As such, many players have begun gravitating towards the foil etch cards, not just due to the visual appeal, but because of their general usability. That's a really good point. So what Harvey's alluding to here with the foil etch cards in the comparison is that the availability is a little different than the regular classic foils that you're used to, and then the cardstock and the actual usability, playability, and the physical shape of the etched foils tends to be better than the traditional foils. When Wizards gets it wrong and they curl, these seem to, foil etched versions seem to hold up their shape. So foil etched as a specialty, and moving away from Commander Legends and onto the subsequent history of foil etched cards, at this point that Wizards of the Coast has become a bit more experimental with their development of Strixhaven School of Mages, and the foil etch appeared in a limited motif around the borders of Strixhaven Mystical Archives insert cards. While Commander Legends, they appeared on cards regardless of rarity and without the border treatment requirements. While the manufacturing process had secured by this point such that players could reasonably understand what a foil etch treatment would look like, the application of this treatment had not yet been settled upon, and as such, etched cards, when they did appear in a set, were now viewed as a bit of a mixed response. The distinctive look which they all brought with them in a case of Commander Legends cards was now gone for the time being, only to be replaced by whatever specially frame or lack thereof the set mandated. These foil etched cards, which lacked a coherent identity between releases and had set-specific designs, can be best understood as foil etched specialty cards. While they may not have a harmony in their release, their distribution sets them apart from that of the next class of foil etched cards, which we'll be discussing in the unified releases. Unlike unified foil etched cards, the price trend of specialty foil etched cards must be understood as a set-specific asset, while Mystical Archive cards and Modern Horizons 2 may both be foil etched, and it's important to evaluate their price trajectories separately. This is because the foil etched treatment serves as a compounding force upon the price of the primary specialty gimmick of the set, as opposed to the primary allure itself. Here's an example: the Demonic Tutor from Strixhaven specialty set, as well as the Scalding Tarn from Modern Horizons 2. This is a card I actually opened in a foil treatment, and I was quite surprised when I did open it, and I was really excited to get a Scalding Tarn because that was around the time Tarn was about $80. I didn't quite understand how the foil etched version only commanded about a $20 to $30 price point. I was just happy to get it because it rounded out a playset that I needed. But now with over time, I think I can really pick up on what Harvey's saying here about the foil etching treatment standing up a little bit better over time in the curling. So let's look at the cross comparison between Modern Horizons 2 and Strixhaven School of Mages. For an example, it's become clear that the prices of the foil etch series within each set is more heavily correlated to the price of their compounding characteristics, whether that be from the retro series of Modern Horizons 2 or the Mystical Archive series of Strixhaven School of Mages. In short, the foil etched cards within the specialty category may appear visually similar in some cases, but they should not be treated as products within the same asset group. Treat them separately. Foil etched unified. The unified etched category, however, is a bit more different in series. These cards have competition with other specialty products within their own sets, whether that the borderless foils of Double Masters 2022 or the March of the Machine Multiverse Legends, but nevertheless, none have they've behaved very similarly in terms of price movement and stability. This is due to two primary factors. The first is the homogeneity across printings. That I mean by this is that the foil etched card from Double Masters will look like the same as the foil etched card from March of the Machine. Okay. And that is because in each case, the foil etched treatment is the sole treatment appearing on those cards. There's no chase for a foil etched borderless card or a foil etched serialized card. A typical card is either foil etched or it isn't, and the hunt stops there. This increases an allure of cards within this umbrella of foil etched printings, as well as stabilize expectations for quality across the sets. Very good point that Harvey is making here when it comes to foil variants. The secondary factor is that the unified foil etched cards are solely available in collector booster products. Now, this is also the case with specialty foil etched cards, but the reason that this product exclusively matters all the more here is that, as mentioned before, the etch treatment is only specialty treatment being applied to a foil etched card in this case, whereas the foil etched Mystical Archives card can be best understood as a premium version of an already specialty treatment which is widely available within other draft and set products. Unified foil etched cards have no intermediary class outside of traditional foils. Now we're going to get to the money side of things. Look at the Ragavan. All right, Ragavan foil etch started out in April at $150, is now drifting down to south of 100, between 150, maybe the $75 mark. We've also got a copy of the Dockside Extortionist hovering at well over $100 in the foil etch treatment and holding strong. So in conclusion, thank you, Harvey, for giving us this article and a little bit of an insight into foil etch treatments, the fact that they could be a little bit better, less prone to curling, cupping, and that there's more consistency across sets where the foil treatment in etching appears consistently from one set to the next, rather than all the different variants, borderless and non-borderless. So in conclusion, now that we understand how to classify foil etch cards into their subcategories, why does this matter for pricing? Well, as mentioned earlier, it allows us to make better educated decisions about how we analyze the product trajectories of the card. That comes with the umbrella term etched. If it's a specialty card, then look at the other compounding forces. Is it borderless? Is it serialized? Is it a collector's exclusive? These questions can guide you towards making better comparisons with other cards in a similar class. Alternatively, if it's a unified printing, then it becomes a question of collector booster supply and the innate desirability of the card, as opposed to the desirability and any other special promotions applied to it. Good luck in your foil hunting, and may your cards never curl. Check out Harvey McGinnis, a student at John Hopkins University who's been playing Magic since the release of Return to Ravnica after spending a few months in Legacy and bounding around in Miracles and Blue Control Shells. Now spends a lot of time playing Magic EDH and understands the finance perspective. Also writing for the Commander Herald. Thank you, Harvey, for giving us another article here today. Always like reading the articles by Harvey because they're so well written and always thought-provoking, giving us something to read and check out over at the stock desk. I like it. I got one other meme to show you guys before we head out of here. I hope you guys have a good day. Thanks to everybody who joined in on the conversation, the channel, the chat, the good times that happen when we talk about Magic cards. Let's check it out. I'm trying to find you one more card that I thought was really funny. Good meme card for the day to send you folks on your way. I'm getting ready to head out here for the day until tomorrow. We'll see you again. It's the middle of the week, so it's Wednesday, May the 4th. Star Wars Day tomorrow. How cool. This card right here. I love it. Watch out for this guy. He could be coming to your door at any moment. The Pinkerton's Agent. This is a 2/4 human. Cost you 2 blue for this Pinkerton's Agent. Cost you 2 blue and 2 for this human. When Pinkerton Agent attacks, defending player names an online card in their library. Look at the top 7 cards of their library. Exile each card you find with the chosen name. For each card this way, that was exiled. Draw a card. Defending the player then shuffles the remaining cards back into the library. On the run, if the named card wasn't found, defending player searches their library for a copy of the named card, reveals it, and shuffles it into their library. If a copy of the named card cannot be found, search their library for a non-land card of the same converted mana cost and exile it. That player shuffles. Watch out! Somebody drops this. Hope its power and toughness equal to its word count, right? Beats you down with a wall of text. I know, right? I thought it was funny. Thanks for joining, folks. Enjoy the stream. The cops are at the door. I gotta run. It's been fun. It's been a slice. We'll talk to you tomorrow. It's Brody Alfonso. It's the Morning Magic Stock Show. We're talking stocks, talking finance, talking magic cards here in the morning show. It's Wednesday, May the 3rd. May the 4th be with you. It's early. I'm saying it first.